Hello and welcome back. Today we're talking about the foundation model lifecycle. Let's dive into it. All right, so we're going to start by collecting and preparing our data. That's one of the most important steps because you want to make sure you have good data coming in, and this involves collecting all the text or the images, the audio that you'll be feeding into your model to train it. And not only that, then you have to, first of all, you have to find where to get that data. You have to source it, then you have to augment it, you have to clean it, you have to combine it, you have to put in the right format. There's lots and lots involved with this step, and it is very important and takes a lot of time. Then you need to select the actual model that you will be using and adjust the architecture to your needs. So for example, here we've got a modified version of a transformer. Here we've got a model that would process audio. Here we've got a diffusion model that would be working with images and so on. So lots of different architectures, different types of models. And then once you select the model, the architecture itself, you would need to adjust that as well. Then you would go to the pre-training step. And this is the very time-consuming and basically very long and very expensive step. So here we've got 4 GPUs, but in reality, you'd need way more. You'd need a lot of money. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and a lot of time. And that's why only very large corporations are able to afford this step. Then you would fine tune the data. So for example, if you're creating a medical application to deal with medical data, you would feed in medical data into your model to fine tune it, not retrain it, but fine tune it on specifically that kind of data. Or it could be a chat model or application that you're creating for your business, where you would show the model questions and answers your customers have had in the past 3 years, so it would know how to best answer future questions from your customers. It could be a financial data set, it could be legal, it could be movie data set, and so on. So basically, there's lots of ways or lots of applications you could fine-tune a model for. One thing I'll say here is that you don't have to go down the route of using more data to fine-tune your model, even though that's the most popular and most effective way to fine-tune a model. That's not the only way. There are ways without using more data, for example, prefix tuning or instruction tuning, that you can also use to fine-tune your model, and we'll talk more about those inside the course. Then you evaluate your model using different scores, such as BLEU for translation, or Rouge, or F1, and so on. Which score you use will depend on the type of model and what you're using it for, and that will help you evaluate if it's doing its job correctly. Then you will deploy the model, usually deploy into the cloud, so users can access it from wherever they need. And then you would monitor and provide or get feedback on the model. So you would basically make sure it keeps doing what it's doing and it's not deteriorating. For example, there's things like model drift that can make your model deteriorate, and you collect feedback from users. You know, like sometimes ChatGPT asks you, oh, how was that response? Or which of these two responses would you prefer? Well, they're doing that. They're doing step 7. They're collecting your feedback in order to improve it. And then you update the model. So you basically use that monitoring you've been doing, you use that feedback to create new iterations of the model, to do maintenance on the model, to make sure it's always up to date, it's doing what it needs to be doing, and it's getting better. So there you go. That's the 8 steps in a model's lifecycle. Here's a quick summary of what we discussed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial, where we will go through these steps throughout the course.